What's going on, everybody? This is Living in Arizona Now, and today we are going to talk about hotspots across Arizona. So we're going to dial in some areas that I personally think are up-and-coming regions and areas across Arizona, around Phoenix Metro, Tucson, and even north central Arizona. And I've got about 7 that I'm going to really highlight here, and then I'll move into some of the other ones as time goes by. If you guys are tuning in and you like this type of content, hit the like button, because that helps get the video out to a larger audience, and that encourages us to make higher quality videos and more of them as we continue to explore Arizona together. This right here, in case you're wondering, is Ahwatukee. But let's talk about some of these areas across Arizona. But before we do, if you're new here, you can subscribe to Living in Arizona. We've got lots of videos for you to check out. So the first place that I want to highlight is called Buckeye. All right, so Buckeye is in the west side of Phoenix. This area was one of the fastest growing cities in all of Arizona and the country the last 5 to 10 years. And I expect there to continue to be growth in that area because it is so big and it's got so much area to explore and grow. So if you just wanted to know a little bit more about Buckeye, it is in Maricopa County, and it was the fastest growing city in the United States for both 2017 and 2018. Thank you to everyone who already hit the likes. Let us know also where you're tuning in from. I see 2 people, Javelina Flips and Uwatube. So there we go. Let us also know if you guys can hear this loud and clear, because it is a live stream. So Buckeye, in case you're wondering, it is over here. This is Phoenix Metro. There is Buckeye right there. It's this whole little area, this green, fertile area along the river front that used to be there of the 4 rivers. Okay, so the next one that we're going to talk about is Florence. So the town of Florence doesn't have the world's greatest website, I'll say that right now. But Florence is a nice up-and-coming area. It was on the banks of it was built on the banks of the Gila River, and it was really established as one of the first premier towns along the Gila River, but it slowed down because they built a prison out there. But now they're starting to build up around there. They have the St. Anthony Monastery out there. It's in Pinal County, which is not Maricopa County. This whole area right here, if you just look, I'll just show you exactly why I think this is the next area to grow. You got Gilbert, Queen Creek, Santan Valley. What's the next one over? Florence. They actually built Anthem 2 out there. Anthem is another community that could be on this list, but it hasn't really shown any it hasn't really shown anything that makes us think it's going to grow explosively like a hotspot would, like you're going to get in Florence. Florence is already building these communities. You could see right here, they've got some growth already happening, and whereas Anthem hasn't really done anything too much since then, but they have Anthem 2 out here in Florence. And Phoenix just kind of keeps growing this way, because at the end of the day, remember, at some point in time, the projected growth is Phoenix and Tucson will be filled in here. That means Picacho, Eloy, Coolidge, all of that, Casa Grande will all kind of be part of a megaplex, a mega city region in the United States. There's about 11 in the United States. Phoenix to Tucson is considered a mega region. I think it's called the Sun Belt region. Some of the other regions that are in there, you have the San Francisco, you have the Bay Area region, you have Los Angeles to San Diego region, the Seattle to Portland. Anyway, Phoenix to Tucson is considered one of the mega regions of the future. So Florence, I think, is next in line after Santan Valley to get the growth. Now, we have been asking people if they think we're in a bubble or a housing bubble or not a housing bubble. So far, the consensus is they think we're in a housing bubble. We'll see. I'll talk about that here in a moment. But another one that came up on the list is Oro Valley. Oro Valley is down by Tucson, north of there. So it has about 41,000 people. It's just north of Tucson in Pima County. So we'll take a look here on the map just to show you where Oro Valley is exactly. So here's Tucson, here's Oro Valley, there's the Catalina Mountains. Really a beautiful place right there. Okay, look at this. This is a shot of, anyone want to guess where this is at? If you get it right, it's not Oro Valley. But I just wanted to show you that real quick because it was coming up on my screen. Anyway, so we have Oro Valley coming in as one of the other hot spots. Again, we have 7 on this list. If you're tuning in late, you can always go back and rewatch the video. But the first 2 were Florence and also Buckeye, and now the third one is Oro Valley. So let's add another one onto this list, and we're going to go all the way over to the Lake Havasu City area. So in this area from Parker Dam all the way up to Lake Havasu City is going to be some serious growth, and it continues to pick up. It's basically Parker, Senega Springs, Parker Strip, which is a really cool area. I don't know if there's a lot of room to build, but people like living out there because they get homes that look like this right on the water. You see that? That's the Parker Strip right there. That is very optically interesting to people. The optics behind that really get people excited. That is basically out towards Lake Havasu City. Look at all that traffic on the road, by the way. Anyways, we'll get back to the list here. So Parker, Lake Havasu City, this is an area I anticipate some serious growth. Okay, and Lake Havasu City, in case you're wondering, 52,000 people live there. They're building a larger airport, or they've already got a decent sized airport there. A lot of Californians go there, and a lot of Arizonans, and even people from Nevada, because it's kind of just like in this tri-state area, right? It's right on the border with the Colorado River in California. Okay, so next one on the list is going to be Cottonwood. This is a really cool, funky town that's up and coming. It's in the Verde Valley. It's at the base of what is called the Mingus Mountain. And so this city of Cottonwood has the whole area of the Verde Valley has been picking up. I mean, they call it the Verde Valley because that's where the river goes through, right? But Cottonwood, just in case you're wondering, it only has a population of 11,000 people. So it's got a lot of room to grow here over the next few years. Thanks to everyone who already hit the likes. Yes, I see you, Scott. I see Rosa. I see Linda, David, and Jennifer, Mitzi, Richard. Mitzi's tuning in from Illinois, and Richard is tuning in from Michigan. Cool. All right, so the next town on the list that we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you where Cottonwood is actually real quick here. So this is the Verde Valley. Camp Verde, Cottonwood, this whole area. They've also got Out of Africa out there. Cornville it's got a weird name. I'll be the first to say it's the weirdest name for a town. That's actually pretty nice. And people say, why is it weird? Well, it's just a weird name, Cornville. I mean, but it's right there on the Oak Creek. This whole area is really nice, and it's near Sedona. So I would say Cottonwood, that whole area, the Verde Valley, big time hot spot right now, big time. People are saying, don't send people to Cottonwood. Well, all right, I'll try not to, but they're already going there. It's already growing. But it's a hot spot. I mean, that's why it's a hot spot, is because it's nice. Just the only thing is that you got to hope that they do positive growth. If they're going to build there, you got to hope that the building that they're doing is going to be healthy, sustainable growth, instead of these really ridiculous communities that do everything like cookie cutters, and there's no real soul or vibrance or culture in the community. I mean, that's what you have in a lot of parts of Phoenix. They're building this urban sprawl, but there's no soul, there's no culture. People would say, well, yeah, there is. Of course there is. Well, if you talk to the people who actually live there and their kids, they'll all tell you there's nothing to do. Even in a big city like Phoenix, in like Gilbert and Chandler, there's constantly this conversation about what is there to do, and then the kids, they don't have anything better to do, so they go out and get in trouble. And this is not unique to this generation, but when you build cities, you got to be able to think about the entertainment value or the community. How are people going to come together and gather and get along, right? That's part of it. I mean, you got to do that. Okay, the next area that's a boomtown is this area over here as Prescott. So this is like a hot zone. This is a place that's really, I'm just kind of waiting that it's just going to go. I mean, they built this kind of this loop between 89A and 69. They have this like highway loop here that kind of includes Prescott Valley and everything in between there in Prescott. This whole little area right here has got a lot of room to grow, and then you go north up into Chino Valley, and you've just got this like big area right here that's, if I could compare it to anything like Denver, it's very much like Denver. Let's see. Rosa says Goodyear and Tolleson and Avondale, all those towns with new development have pure, cheap cookie cutter homes with no life. Yeah, the cookie cutter home is basically built on a concrete slab. They put some toothpicks, some 2x4s on each side of the house, and then they, everything's out of 2x4s, and then they insulate it, and then they put some drywall on the inside and stucco on the outside, put some shingles on the roof, and then you're done. And it's done in 3 months, 4 months, and when you buy the house, you got to hope that they built it right, because they literally make it like a McDonald's burger, right? It's like it's a fast house, fast food, fast house. That's how they build it. And sometimes you get something with like a defective air duct system on the air conditioner, which is not good in Arizona in the summertime. If you get this brand new home, you think everything's going to work, and then the aircon in July just goes out. It just goes out, and you're like, what the heck is going on here? So this kind of stuff kind of happens out here. Lynn says Prescott. Oh, someone says, is Prescott pronounced Prescott? It looks like it should be Prescott. Yeah, even if you go up to Prescott, if you go up there, you'll talk to the locals, and they even argue about it to this day, exactly what is it called. It's named after a guy by the name of Prescott, though. But yeah, the homes are like, they're quick homes. Look at this Grand Canyon view. You could stay at that lodge right there on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, by the way. But yeah, I mean, the names, it's like Tucson. Some people call it Tucson. It's definitely not Tucson. It's Tucson. There's actually another place near the Grand Canyon that's pronounced like Tucson. Right here, I'll show you. If you ever go up to Tucson, or to the Grand Canyon, you go through here. Let's see if I can find it. It's, wow, where is it? Right here. Tusayan. So it's basically like the same kind of word, Tusayan. Let's see if I can find the name right there. So that's Tusayan. That's not the same as Tucson, but when you go up to the Grand Canyon, that's where you stay at your hotel. So now, the more you know, right? Are ever moving away from Arizona, says retired. What is the question, retired? I don't know if retired's... let's see. Scott says Phoenix or Tucson. Yeah. Tusayan. How you say it? Tusayan? I don't know. Let's see here. I actually do not know how you say Tusayan. I've never even heard of it, how they pronounced it. So if someone has a better pronunciation, and again, when we're on the subject of pronunciations, this is one of those things that gets all the people who've been in Arizona for a while, gets them all riled up. If you pronounce one thing wrong, you all of a sudden don't know nothing about Arizona. So let's see if I pronounced it right, because Tusayan. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, people are going to come in there and they're going to say anything. But look they got the Grandview Lookout Tower up here. They've got Moran Point, Grandview Point, Grandview Mine. There was a story I heard. This is like an old, this is like an old wives' tale or an old fairy tale or folklore. Some people out there believe that this was carved out or as a mining. The Grand Canyon was originally a mine. Obviously, I would say that's a very far-fetched theory, but there are people that you can talk to today who will tell you that the Grand Canyon was mined by these giant people a long time ago. I think they're called the Nephilim or something like that. So there's people out there that say that, but it wouldn't make sense because it's clearly carved out by the river. The river's path carved out this, but they say it was a mine. Anyway, I bring that up because there was mining done in the Grand Canyon. Let's see. I'm moving there next year, says Robert Smith. Where are you moving, Robert? Sebastian says, hey, living in Arizona now. I just wanted to say I enjoyed your videos. I moved to Arizona from Norway and currently live in Phoenix. I first lived in Tempe and your videos helped me navigate. Great. Now what you can do is change that Patriots logo to an Arizona Cardinals logo. I'm just kidding. No, but the Cardinals are playing the Rams. Who y'all think are going to win that game? A lot of the Cardinals fans went fair weather. Even though we finally made the playoffs for like the first time in 6 years, we got all these people that are Cardinals fans being like, oh, we're going to get booted on the first round. So, I mean, a lot of teams got shook up. We definitely are not playing the same football we were playing at the beginning of the game or at the beginning of the season. Well, yeah, I'm a hometown guy. I go for the Arizona guys. I go for the home team. I'm a Phoenix Suns guy, Arizona Diamondbacks, Arizona Coyotes, which is not very good because the Arizona Coyotes right now are like the worst team in the NHL. The Diamondbacks were one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. Yeah, I would. I'm an Arizona Cardinals guy. I mean, even when we're the worst team, I'm still, hanging in there. I would think that most of you guys out here in Arizona are also Arizona Cardinals fans, but because I don't know, like in Boston, if you're living in Boston, you're a New England fan. If you're living in Chicago, you're probably a Chicago fan. But in Arizona, if you're living in Arizona, I guess we don't have to be local supporters. So it's just funny. I don't know. I think of it crazy like that. But Big P Antoine says Blackwater, Arizona. There we go. Timmy says go Cardinals. Angel says 11 fits. Yeah, so we got some Cardinals fans out there. Travis says he's a Suns fan. Sebastian says, I lived near ASU, so people don't judge me. Yeah, right, because everyone's from college and they're coming from everywhere else around the country. Rosa says, there are so many transplants in Arizona to be local supporters. Well, what ends up happening is we end up going to the championship or we win the Super Bowl or something. Next thing you know, everyone wants to be a fan. But some people think it's cooler if you're a fan before, because then you're not considered a fair weather fan. But it's hard to like a team that doesn't exactly excite you. You know? Anyways, so as we're looking around here at Sedona, let's see if this right here is up on the Mogollon Rim. But anyway, let's get back on the subject of great places to see around Arizona. So we just touched on the 7 places that are hot spots, right? Buckeye, Florence, Oro Valley, Lake Havasu City to Parker, Cottonwood, and Prescott. Did I miss one? What do you guys think? Scott says, Jeff, time to do a Rocky Point vlog. Well, right now is not a good time to go down to Rocky Point because of the weather. It's not, the best time to go down to Rocky Point, though, is in spring. You're right. I mean, I would love to get down to Rocky Point, Arizona's beach. It's in Mexico, in Sonora. I was actually just digging around on the maps today, and I noticed there's this like volcano field on the way down there. So after you get off Sonoyta, you come down Highway 8 here, and there's like a bunch of calderas. You can see Crater Elegante, and I was like, man, these kind of look like they kind of look like Meteor Crater in northern Arizona. This is Saras, Colorado. But you can see there's a lot of craters out here. I mean, I counted at least 7. 1, 2, then there was a couple over here. There's a crater in that one. There's another crater right here, Crater de la Luna. So I became interested in that because there's a lot of volcanic activity out here in this region. And there was some volcanoes up in northern Arizona also. For those of you who already watched our video on Sunset Crater, right around here, Sunset Crater National Volcano National Monument. If you guys haven't been up here in Flagstaff, it's basically like walking on the moon in some regard, except for there's trees. But it reminds me a lot of Colorado, or not Colorado, Kilauea on the Big Island of Hawaii. All right, so I'm going to take some questions here. Let's see if I can keep up. Is Santan Valley Florence? No, Santan Valley is not Florence. Florence is a little bit further beyond Santan Valley. So if I zoom out here, because someone today on our Instagram, by the way, if you're not already following us on Instagram, 10.2 thousand followers. We are growing fast over there. I'll put a link so you guys can actually click on that, but come back if you click on it. Anyway, so our Instagram is growing fast, but someone messaged me today saying, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Red Rock near Eloy or near Marana. What do you think? And I was like, right now I wouldn't want to live in Red Rock, right? So I was like, no, I wouldn't recommend Red Rock right now. The things that are around there, obviously the Pinal County or the Pinal Air Park, which is where it's like an aircraft graveyard. They also had some other, Picacho Peak is out there, but really there's nothing out here. I mean, it's really hot in the summer. There's not a lot to do. It's far from pretty much everything. It's too far from Tucson, too far from Phoenix, even too far from Casa Grande. But I said in 30 years, that place, Red Rock, is going to be booming. It's going to be something. It's going to be like what Santan Valley is. When I was a kid going to high school 20 years ago, Santan Valley was the edge of nowhere. We played one football team out there. It was called the Arizona Boys Ranch. Any of you who've grown up in Arizona and know about the Arizona Boys Ranch, that was where they sent kids who were troubled youth. That was the only thing that was really in Santan Valley or Queen Creek. It was more in Queen Creek. Nowadays, Santan Valley and Queen Creek are all included in the major metropolis. They've done a lot of building out there. They keep on building out there. But Florence is right here. This is Florence. They do country thunder out there. And for any of you guys who actually like Donald Trump, I don't know who, I'm not trying to get political. This is not a political statement. He's doing a rally in Phoenix, but guess where he's doing it? In Florence. I think he's even doing it out there at Country Thunder. Country Thunder is the big country music festival. So that's all out in Florence. Just thought I'd put that out there since some of you guys might be interested in that. E-Ticket says, I'm getting out of California, but I'm torn between Phoenix and San Antonio. Oh, gosh. San Antonio gets more rain, I'll say that, and it's more green. It gets more rain, and it's more green. So if greenery and whatnot, green and rain is your thing, San Antonio is going to have it beat. Someone said, surprise, El Mirage area has expanded significantly in the past decade. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about the whole thing going on with West Phoenix. Yeah, we could talk about West Phoenix pretty in depth here. But this whole area probably on the other side of the 101 is going to experience some big time growth. But the real area that it seems like is going to get the growth is going to be Buckeye to Goodyear. The Goodyear to Buckeye area has the most land to bowl over. The thing that I don't like about Surprise or any of that area is the fact that Luke Air Force Base is out there. I don't know how many people are going to want to move near Luke Air Force Base, aside from Air Force people. They do build around Air Force bases. It could end up being decommissioned as an Air Force base at some point in time, and then it would be an airport. But the area of Surprise right here, El Mirage, they are building this way, though. They are building up this way, and the real boomtown that's like a hidden gem that hasn't quite got the boomtown hot area going for it is Wickenburg. Wickenburg's a hot spot. If you haven't been out there to Wickenburg, you got to check out Wickenburg. It's got some communities out there. You can still find peace and quiet out there, but they have quite a few mines. They got the Wickenburg Airport there. That is wild. But yeah, Wickenburg. There you go. You guys would be surprised about that place. And it's in a nice high desert climate. Andres says, yeah, those dang jets get unruly in the noise. Yeah, I mean, when I was in the Navy, I worked on a Navy Air Force base, and I used to want to get the bumper sticker that says, I hate jet noise. I really did not like jet noise constantly because it's like one jet after another. And I love jets, but the jet noise, it'll get to you, especially when you're not working. When you're not working, it's not the best noise. Jose says, are there any new highways coming up in Phoenix Metro? The only one that I really heard about, there's basically two that I know about. If anyone wants to share in the comments. Hey, by the way, Jose, that's a great question, man. That's a good question there. Let's see here. The 24 is the next big expansion that I don't know when they're going to do it. It's just a highway getting ready to go. You can see they've already kind of cleaned out this area, and they need to build that down and wrap it around the Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. But more importantly, they need to get going this way because there's a bunch of land that they can actually, cheap land that someone owns that they can sell and develop because there is a housing shortage out here. I mean, there's a housing shortage. What do you want me to say? Gun Train says, shh, don't be telling people about Wickenburg. Yeah, I kind of let that cat out of the bag already. But that's the cool thing is when I flex for the people out in Wickenburg, you know, then I go on to another one, and so then people are like, they don't know which one they want to do. So they go up there and they visit the place and they spend some money and then they maybe move somewhere else. I don't know. But, you know, people can't move everywhere. They can only move one place. You can only be in one place at any given time. But yeah, I hear you. What is Lake Havasu City's water temperature? Someone also was talking about 24. I haven't been out to the 24 in a while, but Scott says it's almost done. All right. Good. About time. I mean, when I was living down in Santan Valley, because now that I live up in Desert Ridge, I don't really go down there that often, you know. But it's good to hear that 24 is almost done. There's Highway 11. Does anyone know the details on Highway 11? It's supposed to basically connect Tucson, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. I think it's Highway 11. Does anyone have any details on that? I'm surprised no one mentioned that. Chloe says, land that has fractures, I would not live there. Sinkholes. What land has fractures and sinkholes? I know that there's places out there that have unstable ground, but typically that's California. I don't know of too many areas that have that, other than volcanic lava fields. Where is this area that has this sinkholes? Timmy says, is Gilbert a good place to live? Yeah, I mean, we talk about Gilbert all the time on this channel. Between Gilbert and Chandler, both considered great places to raise a family. If I was single, would I live in Gilbert or Chandler? I would take Chandler over Gilbert if I was single, but Tempe is really where you want to be if you're single, or Scottsdale. The only place in West Phoenix, if you're single, that you want to be, and I'm not assuming that you're single, I'm just saying that Gilbert is great if you're in a family, if you have a family. But if you're single, Gilbert's not the best place to be. Robert says Queen Creek had some fractures. I think I heard about that actually. Now that you mention it, I don't know the details on it. So feel free to share the details if you have it. Morris says, is Kingman a good place to live? I would not live in Kingman. No, Kingman is a hot spot though. It's a hot spot because it's cheap. But Kingman. Let me put the little orange guy on the Kingman here. All right, this is Kingman. It's like this is what Kingman is to me. This is when I think Kingman. This is what I think. What you're seeing right here, and I'm just showing you. I'm letting Kingman sell itself to you. So if that's what you want to live around, then Kingman is for you. Chris said, sorry, Interstate 11, not 14. Highway 93 is becoming I-11. I don't see any construction south of there yet. Yeah, that's supposed to be a mega corridor that's going to connect Vegas, Phoenix, and Tucson. I mean, I was big on rail. I still am big on rail, but I don't know how long that's going to take to happen to even get the public support of rail. But Phoenix to Vegas, I would ride the Phoenix to Vegas train pretty much probably. I would say that would be huge, the Phoenix to Vegas train. But will you guys ride it? I don't know. But the only way people will ride it is if it goes 200 miles an hour. So if I'm going to build it, it's going to be a high-speed train. And yeah, I would definitely ride it would be like Friday night, hey, what are you doing? Let's go take the bullet train to Vegas tonight, and it's going to take us 2 hours. Get off work at 5, get there at 7, stay the night, come back at 11 a.m. and arrive home at 1 o'clock. That's like awesome lifestyle if they have that kind of train. I would assume people would do that, but people don't do that with airplanes because everyone's like, "Whoa, you could just fly on Southwest." Yeah, but then you got to go through TSA and do all this stuff, wait in the congested terminal. I guess it's the same kind of deal, but then you got to arrive at the airport and collect your baggage. Trains are just so much less stress. So a Phoenix to Vegas train would be awesome. And then what happens is every town in between there also benefits from it. Silver Money Dude said Americans don't build high-speed rail. Yeah, they don't. Americans do not. Because the American automotive industry is so powerful and has so many lobbyists. It's the reason that I know about high-speed rail is because I've left the United States and actually ridden high-speed rail, the bullet train in Japan, the high-speed rail in China, the high-speed rail in Italy, the high-speed rail in Spain. And I just know I always would rather ride the train when I'm in those places. After I did it once, I was like, the train is better than airplanes. And so, but Americans need their cars and they need their airplanes, and that's all they need. So there's no telling, like there's going to be people in this chat who are going to be like, A high-speed rail between Phoenix and Las Vegas is the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my whole entire life. You're the biggest moron I've ever heard. How do I know that? Because that's what they say when you mention a high-speed rail in Arizona or in America. So, okay, so people are saying stuff about politics, of course. So that's happening. Where's Bill Gates' smart city? Yeah, that's a good question. Let's take a look at Bill Gates' smart city. I don't even know if it's still going on, but it was called Belmont. I actually made a video on it. Let's see here. Right. For some reason, my Google Maps is glitchy. So it's basically right here. Here's the white tanks, and it's in this area. If I had like an orange marker, I could scribble it. I don't know if you guys can see but let me zoom in here. It's like right here. It's called Belmont. I don't even know if it's zoned. Belmont. Yeah, basically right here. Yeah, it's north of Tonopah. That's right. So it's like right here. Yeah, it's like around this watershed there. Thanks to 107 people who hit the likes. If you guys hit that like if you're new here, and also welcome to all the new subscribers. I see you guys also. Everybody says that about every state they live in. Okay, are they referring to the the state turning blue? So there's a big conversation in the comments going on about the state turning blue. So if you guys want to tune into those comments, you can do that, but I'm not going to play into politics right here. John Doughboy says the political talk in the chat is ridiculous. You can't speak about anything else. They're like, yeah, I mean, you guys, like Jose, he asked me a great question. He said, is there any good highways being built? But instead people want to know, is the state of Arizona turning blue or red? I don't know. I mean, that's, I think a lot of people that I talk to, I think most Americans really, if you remove the whole identity concept from it, are really more centrist. They're more center of the row. They're progressive on some things and they're conservative on other things. Because I've talked to people who are hard left, totally progressive with all their views, but they hold very many centrist views or even conservative values. Then I've talked to people who are on the far right, or not necessarily the far right. It's just moderates. I talk to moderates, moderate right. Someone over there, you would think that they're a diehard Republican person, and they have views that are progressive. Okay, so I would say that we have this identity thing, and the politicians feed off of it, and so they just want to keep pulling you, and they bring in issues that they know are very sensitive, and then they got you by the emotions. Once they've got you by the emotions, and you're emotionally attached to the movement, you're locked in. It's like being a sports fan. If they get you emotionally involved, it's like being in a relationship. Everything's boring until they get you emotionally involved. Once they get you emotionally involved, then love starts coming into it. Tippy Toe says, isn't the politics in Arizona because of the border with Mexico? No, I mean, I was even thinking about it today because they keep complaining about how there's no, they keep saying there's a labor shortage. No one wants to do the work anymore. And the first thing that I thought is because, they've basically gotten rid of all the immigration. So immigrants, see, this is the thing about Phoenix, and people in Phoenix, they can be in denial about this all day long, but I used to work in multiple different fields in Phoenix, Arizona. I've worked on golf courses, which is construction, and maintenance, construction crews. I was the only gringo on that staff, okay? I was the only white guy on that staff. Everyone else was from Mexico. How do I know? Because I didn't talk to anyone in English. I had to learn Spanish to work there. Out of 30 guys, there was only 3 of the guys were the superintendents, okay? But most of the staff was all just speaking Spanish. I worked in restaurants. Most of the staff in the kitchen was Hispanics or speaking Spanish. So there's this whole thing with, kick all the immigrants out. And that's not good because now people because Americans don't want to do the work that the immigrants will do. And it's not just immigrants from Mexico, it's immigrants from any country, people who want to migrate here. We have a lot of people from India in Pakistan now in Phoenix. We have a lot of people from Africa coming here. So there's a multitude of different immigrants that come here, not just people from Mexico. So when people think about the crisis going on the border, that's more of a drug-related issue than anything. Because so far as I'm concerned, anyone from Mexico who lives in Arizona is just as much an Arizona resident. Because I grew up here. I know what real Arizona people think like and are like. They're hardworking. They're kind of like cowboys, caballeros, if you want to call it that. That's like the real Arizona vibe out here. But yeah, so I would say that people from Mexico are just as much a part of Arizona as, as anyone else. I mean, if someone comes in from Michigan, they're less like Arizonan than someone from Sonora, to be honest with you. But the main issue, the reason there's a big tension is because of the cartels, and the cartels are like a mafia, so they bring with them organized crime, and the crime causes problems on the streets, and everyone thinks it's people from Mexico when it's the cheap drugs coming across the border from Mexico, and the people in the middle getting caught in between doing the work because they're in a desperate situation. But most of the time, it's the drugs. It's the drug war. You take away the drug war, there's no real tension between Mexico and in Phoenix or Arizona, because what do a bunch of Phoenix people do anyway? They go down to Rocky Point and Puerto Penasco. So how could you hate Mexico or have a problem with Mexico but go down to Rocky Point or Cabo San Lucas or Cancun? Now, there's a lot of people in there that are going to say, oh, I wouldn't dare go down to Mexico. But why would you not go down to Mexico? The only reason they say is because of the cartels. It's not because they don't like eating tacos and burritos or hanging out with people who are Mexican. No, it's because they're worried about the cartel trying to cut their head off or something. So yeah, it's a drug war, and it's on the border all the way across the southern border of the United States. Tijuana's dangerous. Nogales, not so dangerous, but even Mexicali has it. Ciudad Juarez near El Paso was even one of the most dangerous cities in the world. So, a lot of it's because, we already know, it's the cartels. AZ, a big place, lots of music venue city. Well, like I said earlier, we have Country Thunder. Country Thunder is a big music event. I mean, this is a huge event. You could see kind of some pictures, but this is what it gets going like on Country Thunder. You can look it up online, but some of the best country bands in the nation come out here, and whatever country people do, throw down or get buck or whatever you want to call it. They do it down there in old Florence. It's out there by Florence. We used to have, what's this, Desert Sky. I haven't been to an event at Desert Sky. I don't even know if it's open anymore. Desert Sky. There was a concert venue at Desert Sky. I don't know if this is the same Desert Sky, but other than that, I think it's called the Foot Center, or where the Phoenix Suns play. It used to be called, I always know of it as America West Arena. They keep changing the name. It was Talking Stick Arena when this was taken, but it's now called Footprint Center. I don't even know the name of Footprint. Who is Footprint? But that's where the concerts are. They also do concerts out in Glendale at the Coyotes Arena. So it just depends. I don't know what the pavilion is called anymore. Desert Sky Pavilion. Yeah, where's Desert Sky Pavilion? Let's see. I've been to that one for I guess it's Auction now. Is it Auction Pavilion now? Is this the old Desert Sky? I hadn't been there since I was a kid, to be honest with you, so I couldn't help you on that one. But I know that Desert Sky Pavilion was where you would go to watch a lot of the concerts. Yeah, Auction Casino, I guess that's where it is. Footprint makes paper products. Gee, what a great sponsorship, guys. I mean, the Suns went, I guess the NBA is just not doing so good if the team that went to the NBA Finals is named after a paper product arena. The arena is named after a paper product. That's not good. Here's Arizona Federal Theater. They've got a decent theater down here. They also had the Orpheum, I think is what it's called. I've actually never been to the Orpheum Theater in the inside. I've only seen it from the outside. Let's see if I can find Orpheum. I know it's in downtown. It's got to be like, let's see here. Yeah, Orpheum right here. So this is kind of a popular one, the Orpheum. This is old school Arizona. You know, Phoenix back in the day, before they had air conditioner, down in downtown they had an underground, Phoenix Underground. They don't even use the Phoenix Underground anymore. And I got to thinking about that. I was like, hey, you know, that's kind of a cool idea. I was like, that's kind of a cool idea to have an underground in Phoenix because it gets so hot. Like I went to Sweden, and Sweden has these deep undergrounds, kind of like Montreal has an underground city, or Houston even has an underground city. But Sweden had the underground city. You got to take like 3 stair lifts to get down there, and it's they've got bars and everything. It's like deep in the Swedish. This is in Stockholm. And I was like, okay, I can understand why they built that here because it gets really cold in Sweden. But what if it gets really hot? Like it does in Phoenix in the summertime. Why not build an underground? But I think there's a problem with the water table being too shallow. Because like some of the mines that they dug up, like even at Goldfield, they hit the water table and it filled up with water. So I think that's why they can't really do subterranean stuff out here in the valley. I'm sure there's areas where they can use like a scanner to see where the water is and where it's not. Because I'm pretty sure there's not like just one big lake under the valley of Phoenix, is there? I don't know much about the water table really. What do you think of North Peoria, Lake Pleasant area? By the way, guys, click the link at the top if you want to check out the Instagram that we have. Because some of you guys are asking questions about things to see and do. Well, look at our Instagram. We've got all sorts of stuff. This is Weaver's Needle. This is one of the most popular images posted by Cantol Photos. This guy, if you follow him, he's got some cool stuff too. He does a lot out in town, but he lets us feature him. So we get to feature a bunch of people from Arizona, lots of different photographers. They all give us permission to feature them, like Dig In Outdoors and Phoenix Native Wanderer. They go out there. They like their lifestyle involves them needing to go out and explore, and because they need to go out and explore, they get to go to all the cool places, and they find cool places too. So yeah, if you guys were asking that question, just follow us on Instagram, Living in Arizona Now. We just got 10.2 thousand followers, so we're growing pretty fast. Are the American Indian reservations welcoming to visit? 95%, yeah, 95%. But you catch the wrong people on the wrong time. You know, they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. They might not want you there. Or if there's like a political issue where they're not. I think with the COVID thing, some of the reservations didn't want people going up there because there was a big outbreak on the reservation. So like in that situation, like, no, you shouldn't be going up there because they don't want you up there because they're trying to contain the virus spread. But my experience on reservations, 95%, like good, yeah. I would say 99%, but I know that there's some places on the reservation that you got to watch out. Just kind of being too nosy or too, it's not. They don't really want you on the reservation, from my experience. They don't mind you passing through, but if you're going there to like kind of camp or hang out, I don't know if that's a good idea. And if you do, you should get permission. 280 Zone says they are quite safe to stay themselves, or quiet, stay to themselves communities. Goodyear, good town to live in. I'm thinking about moving there, says Nabel. Yeah, Goodyear to Buckeye was one of the areas that was considered a hot spot at the beginning of the video. When it comes to visiting the Indians, I have my reservations, says Richard. Well, like one time I was on a reservation up, I'll just tell you kind of the situation that happened using the map. We were actually filming a video for you guys, and so, I was enjoying it, so it wasn't just all work. But we went up here to the Vermilion Cliffs and up on the Colorado River, right? And we were kind of coming down through Marble Canyon here. But the problem was we were leaving the Kaibab National Forest, and we were coming down here, and we started to run out of gas. And we had just passed the Cliff Dweller Stone House this little area where they got the stone houses on the side of the road. And there was a gas station like right around here at Lee's Ferry. So Lee's Ferry had a gas station. And we were maybe down to a quarter tank, and we were like, should we get gas or should we wait? Just keep on driving, just keep on going. So we go down here, we go down to Marble Canyon, I think we went down to Lee's Ferry though, right here. So we went over here to Lee's Ferry. Let's see if I can find it right here. And that's a little bit further off the road, so we're draining our quarter tank of gas. And then when we get to here, we notice that, it's a lot less, it's about halfway in between empty and quarter tank. And so we start driving over here, but we end up on like what looks like reservation land. And we're just driving and we're like, is there going to be a gas station? So we just keep driving. And we're noticing like there's not a gas station anywhere along this road here. And it had been a while since that had happened, but it was as we got closer into the reservations. So that would be the main point. If you do go onto the reservations, make sure you got enough gas, because sometimes it's real spread out. It's sparsely populated. And if you run out of gas on a reservation, you'll probably get help, but it's not the most ideal place to run out of gas. So there's my big point. I'm good friends with leadership of the White Mountain Apache tribe, and they don't want people being there around their communities a lot because they are spiking with COVID numbers. That's what Arizona Red TV just said. So there you go. If I would say if you're going to go there, seek permission from like the leadership, and if you have the permission of the leadership, it's a lot better than just trying to go down there and freelance around the Native American reservations. Oh man, Phoenix Light said something interesting. How's the caliche here? It was a problem in Vegas. Yeah, we have caliche. I don't think every place has caliche. You have hard dirt, clay. For those of you who don't know what caliche is, I'll pull up caliche. So caliche is like this white, very solid, like almost stone. This is like a look of what caliche is. We have caliche here. It's a sedimentary rock, a hardened natural cement or calcium carbonate. It's found in the Sonoran Desert, the Chihuahuan Desert, and the Mojave Desert. So we're obviously in the Sonoran Desert. But out here, yeah, he's asking about caliche. I've hit caliche trying to dig a pool. If you're trying to dig a pool in your backyard and you hit caliche, oh man, they're bringing out the jackhammers. The backhoe's not going to be able to get down there deep enough and get through that. So yeah, there's caliche out here. It's not everywhere, but I mean, you'll get through some topsoil, maybe like 2 feet, and then you'll start hitting some hard clay, and you'll think that's almost like caliche, the hard clay, but I mean, I've had that problem digging a jacuzzi even, and a pool. But yeah, Phoenix Lights, that's another good question right there. Scott Glick says, we hit a bit here in Queen Creek digging our pool. It sucked. You hit caliche or you hit hard clay? Al says, what do you think about the future of Lake Powell and what it will mean to the town of Page? So if I'm assuming you're talking about the decommissioning of Lake Powell. I don't know the exact details on this yet, and we probably would have to do a whole video on this to really fully, I'd have to do my research to fully know what's going on. But the last I heard through hearsay was that they're going to break Lake Powell. They're going to collapse Glen Canyon Dam. So if they collapse Glen Canyon Dam, that's going to drain Lake Powell, obviously, and it's going to force a lot more water down into the areas. Because the problem is up here, when they dam up Lake Powell, who's sucking off the water supply, right? So they just, all they're doing is just kind of clogging up the Colorado River. Well, down here at Lake Mead, they're running dry at Hoover Dam. So they need more water down there. Well, breaking Lake Powell, bringing more water, because now you got Vegas sucking off Lake Powell. You've got not Moab, but St. George, Utah, which is a place that should not. It's like Phoenix. It's growing and it doesn't have much water around there. So St. George, I've not really been to St. George recently. I don't even know I think I went to St. George one time. But Lake Mead is running dry, and Vegas keeps growing. They need more water down there. So that's what I'd have to say about Lake Powell. Arizona, a good state to form an LLC? No, I would have to say probably not, Morris. The states that a lot of people in Arizona even create their LLCs, if I was to say four, by the way, this is not professional or legal advice. I'm not authorized or professional in any of those realms. I'm just saying from hearsay, because I run this channel, I know the little ins and outs of things that people say to me or I hear. Wyoming, Nevada, Delaware, and then I think even New Mexico. Those are like the ones that people in Arizona tend to gravitate towards because Arizona doesn't have the best corporate structure, from what I understand. And if it does, it went over my head because I didn't notice it. I wouldn't say it was that great. Scott says, Ladybugs, Sedona, Superstition Mountains, and Grand Canyon area. But Ladybug said, I live in California, but I'm thinking about moving out here. What's the best hiking found in Arizona? I know there are a lot of great three. What are the top three? So Scott said Sedona, Superstition Mountains, and Grand Canyon. Some other areas that people like to hike. Well, hiking is decent around Prescott. Hiking is decent around, decent. I mean, what kind of word is that, right? But you can also hike around Catalina Mountain in Tucson. Some nice hikes up here. They do like Hutch's Pool, Windy Point Vista, that area. Well, that's a vista. There's like several waterfalls in Sabino Canyon, Sycamore Reservoir, Seven Falls. Like this is out there in Tucson in, Catalina Mountains. Tucson's got better hiking than Phoenix, straight up. I mean, it's, and I don't know. I mean, you could say that the Superstition Mountains are, if you were to compare Santa Catalina to Superstitions, probably, me personally, I would go with Santa Catalina. It's more wildlife. It's not as hot. So I would take Santa Catalina. Adventuring Outdoors says St. George doesn't get water from Lake Powell. Their water comes from the Virgin and St. Clara River, many springs as well. I heard that St. George was having some sort of issue with getting water from the Colorado. That was in the documentary that I watched about breaking Lake Powell. So I don't know exactly where St. George. I know it's upstream of the Colorado. I don't necessarily think it comes in from. I don't see a canal going from Lake Powell to St. George, and I don't know how it would pump north unless Lake Mead has this river tributary right here, the Virgin River. But I don't know why it was mentioned in there as having some spark. It was like the opening segment was highlighting St. George's water problem. Thanks to 177 people who hit the likes. If you're watching, please consider hitting the likes. That's all we ask of you around here, and ask questions if you have any. Just hit the likes because that helps get the video out there, because YouTube's algorithm is obsessed with this idea that you got to hit a like in order to show that you're interested in the film. If you're not interested in the video, then obviously don't do anything. So we go from 177 to 193. So 15 of you who hadn't already hit the button, and thank you to everyone who already hit the likes. I did do another video on my other channel, by the way, on blockchain bulls for those of you who are into cryptocurrency. I'm excited about that cryptocurrency stuff because I think it's going to get exciting. Right now the market's down, and that's when you want to buy. You want to buy low. You don't want to buy high. At least that's what I would think, right? What about Morristown? Oh man, Morristown. That's down south, right? Let me see. Oh no, Morristown. That's up by okay. I actually have never been to Morristown. Morristown's one of those towns on the way to Wickenburg that if you blink you might miss it. I know of Whitman, and I'm not sitting here saying that there's nothing in Morristown. I just had no reason to ever stop in Morristown. I other than driving through it on Grand Avenue, I've never actually stopped there. But I would say, yes, it's in a nice place. It's better than Surprise. It's just in terms of natural beauty. But it's far from Phoenix. It's closer than Wickenburg, but it's not as good as Wickenburg because you can see it's still very arid here, but it just starts to green up right along the Hassayampa, and then you get to Wickenburg, and it's like, that's kind of high desert. I have not heard of Dolan Springs either. I have heard of it, but I can't tell you exactly where it's at, is what I mean. But I've heard of it. Yeah, there's a lot of small towns. I mean, I wish I could remember all the small towns or know all the small towns, but there's a lot of small towns to know. Dolan Springs. No, I've never been to Dolan Springs either. This is like an area of Arizona that I've not explored. The area going northeast of Kingman. So going up into, I think I went over here one time with my dad when I was a kid on the way to Vegas, but I think he was looking for something like some like ancient civilization that might have been up on the hills, because that's what he used to do. We'd drive along the roads and he would think that there was like a Native American civilization that used to be on the mountain. But I never explored this area. No, this is like to me this is no man's land, but there's chunks of Arizona I haven't explored, and this is one of them. Most of Mojave County, I'm not like an expert. The only things I've really done going through, or not even an expert, right? It's like the only things in Mojave County that I've ever done are drive through Mojave County and go to like Bullhead City. But then there's more areas of Mojave that I haven't been to, like these mountains right here, like Hualapai Peak. It's on my list of places to explore, but I have never been there. So yeah, Mojave County. I mean, it's like Nevada to me, really. Circle City? No, I haven't heard of Circle City. I mean, what's the population of Dolan Springs, right? What's the population of Morristown? What's the population of Circle City? It's like, I don't know, man. These are maybe real small towns. Circle City. Let's see here. No, I haven't been to Circle City either. And yeah, it's a lot. It's like, hey, Jeff, have you ever heard of the Anderson Mill? No. No, that's cool though. Circle City. This looks like basically people who wanted to live in Sun City, but they didn't want to live in Sun City, and they were like, let's build Circle City outside of Sun City on Grand Avenue and see if anyone moves out here. And they basically stopped building after that. I mean, I don't know when the last time they built anything in Circle City was, but based on what I can see right here, it looks like Sun City 3.4. Like it's not even Sun City 3.0, it's 3.4. Yeah, Circle City. There's probably 100 plus towns I don't even know the name of out in Arizona, across the state. I mean, there's so many different small towns. It's like, I definitely know the popular ones. I would think like this one, Paw Rump. Never even heard of Paw Rump. What is that the whole town, Paw Rump? Oh no, that's in Nevada. I was like, I've never heard of Paw Rump. Well, it's probably because it's in Nevada. There you go. Someone just says, which cryptos are you into? Well, I like the ones that are like really low market cap before they start to take off. So I like startups. I'm a big startup guy. So but if I was into any sort of blockchains, I'm big into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then Cardano and Polkadot, and then Engine. Those are probably some of my biggest holdings. And then down from there, I go into like low caps, low market caps. Like I got crypto.com also. I don't know what to make of that, but I've been holding quite a bit of that for a while now. Oh, well, there you go, Ladybug. She told us everything we need to know. Yeah, so anyways, guys, thanks for watching and hitting the likes, and I'm going to jam out now. I'm going to go get some more food, and we'll see you guys on the next one. I can do more of these as time goes by, so we'll see you guys on the next one, and thank you for hitting the likes. 235. Let's see if